What became to Cole Custer? Cole Custer is the driver about whom anything in NASCAR is happening. The 2022 season serves as an example of his deteriorating performance over the previous few years. Everyone is curious as to what happened to him. Learn everything there is to know about Cole Custer's time in Xfinity and his record as the worst driver. Hello NASCAR fam, and welcome back to NASCAR Live. Before we begin, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. And let's begin. Cole Custer was transferred by Stewart-Haas Racing from its NASCAR Xfinity Series squad to its Cup Series team after the 2019 season to take the seat of Daniel Suarez behind the wheel of the number 41 Ford. Custer's debut campaign did not have an auspicious start. He only placed in the top 10 once in the first 15 races, in 9th place at Phoenix Raceway. However, he appeared to change his ways in July of 2020 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He came in 5th at the finish line of that race, but by taking the lead late and winning the following race at Kentucky Speedway, he ensured his place in the playoffs. He had a DNF at Texas Motor Speedway before placing 7th and 8th at Kansas Speedway and New Hampshire Motor Speedway respectively, for a total of 4 top 8 finishes in 5 races. He was given the 2020 Rookie of the Year award because he was the only rookie to place first in a race and to advance to the playoffs. However, the Rookie of the Year honor covered up the fact that Custer has been in difficulties ever since, losing to drivers like Tyler Reddick of Richard Childress Racing and Christopher Bell of Leaving Family Racing, 2 of the big 3 he competed against in the Xfinity Series. He scored just 2 top 10 finishes and never better than 9th place in the final 16 races of the 2020 season. In 6 of the last 10 playoff races, he came in last place in the standings, and by the end of the campaign, he had fewer actual points than both Reddick and Bell. He won at Kentucky Speedway in 2020 after only leading 5 laps. He only led 9 laps all season long in 2021. He only placed in the top 10 twice this season, which is fewer than the 7 times that he did in 2020. He came in at number 10 on both occasions. He has only finished in the top 10 3 times since finishing 10th at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval in October of 2020. All of these positions are lower than 7th. He finished 10th at the Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Track in July. At Bristol Motor Speedway in September, he finished 8th. His average finish in 2021 was 21.3, which was lower than it was in 2020, when it was 19.2, when he had 22 lead lap finishes, down from 17 in 2021. In 2021, he earned 26 points, which was 6 ranks lower than his first season total and 10 spots below than his 16th place finish in 2020. Stewart-Haas Racing struggled during the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season, but Custer was the poorest of the 4. Even so, he came in last place behind rookie Chase Briscoe. Although the team improved in 2022, Custer still placed 25th in the standings with only 21 lead lap finishes and an average finish of 20.6. They all had the lowest rank at Stewart-Haas Racing. Even the recent issues Stewart-Haas Racing has faced are insufficient to account for Custer's issues. Even though all 3 of his teammates have won races in the past 2 calendar years, he hasn't finished higher than 7th. Although he has had some poor finishes, not all of them have been his fault. He has demonstrated speed by qualifying in the top 3 for 3 of the 4 races in March and April. During that period, he scored his first pole position for a dirt track event at Bristol Motor Speedway. But outside from those 3 events, he has only placed better than 20th 14 times this year. However, when you have only placed in the top 10 3 times in the last 59 races that you have competed in and have only finished higher than 10th place 4 times in the last 88 races that you have competed in for one of NASCAR's greatest teams, big issues need to be raised. Just the way that a "what have you done for me lately" sport operates. Custer might have benefited by Stewart-Haas Racing's assumption that there would only be 1 driver to replace before the 2023 season. Aric Almirola announced before the 2022 season began that it would be his final time operating the 10th Ford and his 15th and final complete season of competition. The driver roster at Stewart-Haas Racing is accustomed to change. They didn't change a single driver during the off-season between the 2021 and 2022 seasons. For the first time since the off-season between the 2015 and 2016 seasons. They did not, however, ever switch out more than one driver at a time during their 5 off-seasons. Do you believe anything different would have occurred if SHR had changed its driver a few years earlier? Let us know in the comment section. For additional updates, be sure to subscribe to our channel. The number 14 Chevrolet turned Ford was driven by Clint Bowyer when Tony Stewart retired from competitive racing in 2016. After 2017, Patrick was replaced by Almirola. Following 2018, Suarez replaced Kurt Busch behind the wheel of the number 41 Ford. Custer replaced Suarez after the 2019 campaign. Bowyer was replaced by Chase Briscoe following the 2020 campaign. Since then, Almirola has changed his mind and committed to working with Stewart-Haas Racing for a longer time by signing a contract extension. Thus, the team's driver line up for 2023 would only need to be altered by replacing Custer. What then has SHR decided? In order to advance 2 steps, you may need to take 2 steps back. Cole Custer, who was just demoted to the NASCAR Xfinity Series following a 3-year tenure in the Cup Series, is hoping to accomplish exactly that with Stewart-Haas Racing. Last year, Ryan Preece, a short-track pro who raced for JTG Doherty Racing for 3 years in the Cup Series, was courted by SHR co-owner Tony Stewart to join the team as a backup driver. Custer will hand over control of the number 41 Ford to Preece. After the choice, Custer is left to consider his options. The inclusion of the number 41 ride in the silly season remained a mystery the whole summer. Custer repeatedly said that he was just interested in the here and now and did not want to talk about his future. SHR struggled to find a spot for Preece after the club revealed that Aric Almirola had signed a multi-year contract after initially declaring his retirement. Custer marginally outperformed 2021, finishing in the top 10 3 times and winning his first career pole at the Bristol Dirt Race. But he couldn't stay in the top division of NASCAR with such performance. Moreover, in 2022, Custer triumphed in an SHR Prepare car at Auto Club Speedway to win the inaugural Xfinity Series contest for SS Greenlight Racing. Stewart and Gene Haas, who also owns the Haas F1 team, the team's other co-owner, argued about their respective choices. Due to Joe Custer's position as team president, Haas wanted to keep Custer in the vehicle, but it made sense to give Preece, a hero among the crowd, a spot in the Cup Series. Preece will undoubtedly have sponsorship money with him because he is a client of Kevin Harvick's KHI management. Preece gradually advanced through the NASCAR ranks after first gaining notoriety on the Whelen Modified Tour. He entered the Xfinity Series with JD Motorsports and raced there full-time for the first time. After coming in somewhere in the middle of the pack, he was dissatisfied and carried his sponsorship money to Joe Gibbs Racing for some limited schedules in 2017 and 2018, where he triumphed in his second Iowa Speedway start. Brad Daugherty is a co-owner of JTG Doherty Racing, where Preece drove for the whole 2019 to 2021 Cup Series season. Although he had several outstanding moments, the small team's underfunded second car was unable to provide him the opportunity to compete for victories. The decision might help Custer's professional life. Having turned 24 years old, he still has plenty of time to rejoin the Cup Series. A couple of years at the Cup level are all that Harvick and Almirola have left until they retire. There will be 2 seats open for SHR. It permits SHR to sign an outside free agent. Custer took over for Daniel Suarez at SHR in 2020 due to a similar disagreement between the owners. After a 7-win Xfinity Series season and a return to the championship 4, Haas desired Custer to be promoted over Suarez. Despite Stewart's desire for Suarez to stay, Stewart prevailed in the internal struggle this time. Custer is currently under pressure to duplicate these results. If he's able to run well and contend for a title, his future is still promising. Which opinions do you have on this? Please tell us in the comment section. Meanwhile, in 2023, the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum will grow even more for the race on February the 5th, which will be hosted inside the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The main event will be expanded as a result of the field being increased up to 27 cars from the initial 23 cars. All 2023 NASCAR Cup Series charter team owners and affiliated Cup drivers are eligible to participate in the unique stadium race. The 4 additional starting spots in the field for this year are open to 2023 NASCAR Cup Series Open team owners and related Cup drivers. This year's clash at the Coliseum follows a nearly identical structure. The field will be divided into 3 groups on February the 4th for practice, with each group getting 3 sessions to dial in their vehicles. The starting lineups for Sunday's heat races for 25 lap fights in which only green flag laps count will be determined by single round and single car qualifying, which will commence immediately after practice. A warm-up lap and 2 time laps make up each driver's 3 qualifying laps. Using the order of lowest to highest owner points in the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series, teams will be drawn for qualifying. The top 4 open teams will advance to the heat races if this competition receives more than 40 entrants. The fastest qualifier from Saturday will start from the front row in Heat 1, followed by the second fastest qualifier for Heat 2, the third fastest for Heat 3, the fourth fastest for Heat 4, etc. The field for the main event and the starting order will be decided by the heat races. The top 5 finishers in each heat race will automatically advance to the main event, setting the top 20 starting positions. The last chance qualifiers, 250 lap races that officially determine the clash field, will be used by drivers who finish outside the top 5 in their heat races to compete for a spot in the main event. 6 to 10 place finishers in Heats 1 and 3 compete in the first LCQ, while 6 to 10 place finishers in Heats 2 and 4 compete in the second LCQ. The top 3 drivers from each LCQ progress to the clash to compete. The driver who placed highest in the 2022 season points standings and who did not already have a starting position in the clash is given the 27th and last berth in the field. This guarantees a spot in the field for Joey Logano, the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series champion and winner of the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum last year. And that ends today's episode. We sincerely hope that you have enjoyed the video. If so, please like this video and share it with your friends and family. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We will catch up in the next video.